Founded in 1993 as part of the US bid to host the 1994 World Cup, the first season of Major League Soccer came in 1996. The league has come a long way since then, expanding from just 10 teams in 96 to 23 in 2018, with further expansion planned. Following an initial buzz, the league saw a drop in attendances during the late 1990s and early 2000s, before drawing international attention when LA Galaxy signed David Beckham in 2007. Whilst that transfer set in motion a trend of signing famous 30-plus-year-old European stars, some teams have turned away from big names in recent years, instead focusing on up-and-coming young talent with a more long-term plan. As we approach the end of the MLS season, culminating in the MLS Cup final on December 8th, it seemed like a good time to acknowledge those requests for us to do a video on the best player at every MLS team. Here are our views on every MLS team's best player. Atlanta United, Miguel Almiron. Going in alphabetical order, we start with conference finalist Atlanta United. Founded in 2014, this is only Atlanta's second season in Major League Soccer. Following a 4th place finish in the Eastern Conference last year, they finished second this season, and are a perfect example of a team who have looked to the future in terms of their recruitment. It's no secret that Atlanta United have two outstanding players, namely Joseph Martinez and Miguel Almiron. Both have made the 2018 MLS Best 11, having both made the 2017 Best 11 as well. Martinez has scored a mightily impressive 53 goals in 58 games since joining the club, and he was the division's top scorer this season. But it is the Paraguayan international Almiron who just gets the nod for us. A raw but talented attacking midfielder with sharp acceleration and a real willingness to get at defenders, it's little wonder he's been linked with the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham and Newcastle. Chicago Fire, Bastian Schweinsteiger. Bastian Schweinsteiger is of course the best known player at Chicago Fire, having previously starred for Bayern Munich and having won a World Cup with Germany a little over 4 years ago. No one in this list is picked on prior achievements though, and we think Schweinsteiger is the best player at Toyota Park right now. The prolific Nemanja Nikolic and Alexander Katai deserve mentions, but Schweinsteiger is still an accomplished leader on the pitch and a really intelligent footballer. Columbus Crew, ZACK STEFFEN. Aged only 23, ZACK STEFFEN took the #1 spot in the MLS Best 11 for 2018, and rightly so. Still a baby in goalkeeping terms, the Pennsylvania native with smart reflexes has been capped 6 times by the US MNT, and we think he's Columbus Crew's best player. DC United, Wayne Rooney. The team which dominated the early era of Major League Soccer, DC United haven't tasted MLS Cup glory since 2004. It's not hard to pick their best player right now, since Wayne Rooney has been one of the outstanding players in the entire division since joining the Black and Reds. Since joining the club in June 2018, Rooney has scored 12 goals and made 7 assists in 20 appearances, being named as club captain and in the 2018 MLS Best 11. Montreal Impact, IGNACIO PIATTI. This list has been laden with 2018 MLS Best 11 inclusions so far, and Montreal Impact star man IGNACIO PIATTI is another. Capable of playing as either a left winger or as an attacking midfielder, the 33-year-old Argentine is a skillful, technical and creative operator. He has been Montreal Impact's MVP for 3 consecutive seasons, averaging a goal every other game, so we don't think there can be too many doubts about this one. New England Revolution, KELYN ROWE. Another player capable of playing out wide or through the middle, former college soccer star KELYN ROWE is our pick for New England Revolution. The 3rd overall pick in the 2012 MLS Super Draft, ROWE has been with New England Revolution ever since, where he has racked up more than 200 MLS appearances. Capped 4 times by the US MNT, ROWE previously trained with KELYN in the Bundesliga, and he is a good passer of the ball who can score the occasional wonder goal. New York City FC, David Villa. He may be 36 years of age now, and most likely on his way out of New York City, but David Villa is still our pick as the young club's best player. Villa has scored prolifically throughout his career, and that certainly hasn't stopped over in the US. He has scored a total of 74 goals in 113 MLS games since 2015, being named as an MLS All-Star 4 times. If Villa is to leave the Big Apple once the 2018 campaign draws to a close, as looks likely, you'd have to look towards Argentinian playmaker Maxi Morales as the club's star man. New York Red Bulls, Alejandro Romero GAMARRA. It's clear that there is an impressive Argentinian contingent playing in the MLS right now, and although Alejandro Romero GAMARRA has won a couple of caps for Paraguay, he was born and raised in Argentina. A fleet-footed attacking midfielder, GAMARRA has really good technique, and he showed during his time with Hurricane that he is a thoroughly capable player. We have to pay homage to Bradley Wright Phillips, who is the 8th highest scorer in MLS history, with by far the best goals per game ratio of any player in the top 10. The 33-year-old added another 20 MLS goals to his overall tally in 2018, but we still think GAMARRA is a better player. Orlando City, LAMINE SANE. Between 2015 and 2017, you'd have to say Kaká was Orlando City's best player, but since the former Ballon d'Or winner retired, it's been less of an obvious choice. US international Dom Dwyer is a really hard-working and effective centre-forward. Oriol Rosell is an intelligent defensive midfield enforcer, but our choice is LAMINE SANE. Capped 31 times by Senegal, Sane is a vastly experienced centre-back, having previously played regularly for both Bordeaux and Werder Bremen. Strong in the tackle and a force in the air, Sane joined Orlando in February, and although he has been unable to alleviate their defensive woes, he has still been their most impressive defender, and for our money, their best player. Philadelphia Union, Andre Blake. The first overall pick in the 2014 MLS Super Draft, Andre Blake has proved to be a shrewd choice by Philadelphia Union. The towering shot stopper has made more than 100 appearances for the club, as well as racking up 31 caps for Jamaica since then, firmly establishing himself as one of the best goalkeepers in the MLS. He was the division's goalkeeper of the year in 2016. Toronto FC, Sebastian Giovinco. There may be some people who would make a case for Michael Bradley here, but in our eyes, there can be no doubts that Sebastian Giovinco is Toronto FC's best player. Incidentally, 2018 is the first of the Italian's 4 seasons in the MLS in which he hasn't made the division's best 11, but he must surely have come close. The diminutive frontman has had confidence flowing through his veins since arriving in the States in 2015, and he has since bagged 83 goals in 142 games. Short, agile and explosive, Giovinco has a touch of magic, and he is absolutely deadly from free kicks in and around the penalty area. Colorado Rapids, KELYN ACOSTA. It was another difficult season in 2018 for the Colorado Rapids, who finished just one place off bottom in the Western Conference for the second consecutive season. Thankfully for them, but to the detriment of soccer in the US, in our eyes, there is no chance of relegation from the MLS. The Rapids team isn't one oozing with class if we're honest, but they do have a few decent players. From New Zealand international Tommy Smith to former US international and Premier League regular Tim Howard, although the latter is 39 years old now. Our choice, however, is KELYN ACOSTA, the Rapids' hard-working and versatile 23-year-old box-to-box midfielder who has already won 23 caps for the US national team. FC Dallas, Abel Aguirre. A member of the Colombian squads of both the 2014 and 2018 World Cups, experienced midfielder Abel Aguirre has won 71 caps for his country. Having previously played in Italy, Spain, France, Portugal and Colombia, one could accuse the 33-year-old of being something of a journeyman. A hard-working central midfielder who likes to keep things simple, we'd only just put Aguirre ahead of a number of his teammates, and given his large salary, it wouldn't surprise us if he left the club before the start of the 2019 campaign. Houston Dynamo, ALBERTH ELIS. Signed by Houston Dynamo on loan in 2017 and then on a permanent deal in 2018, ALBERTH ELIS was the club's Players Player of the Year and Best Newcomer in 2017, whilst he picked up the Young Player of the Year award in 2018. Still only 22, ALBERTH is part of a strong Central and South American contingent at Dynamo, and it was slim pickings between a few of those and ELIS if we're honest. The 6-foot centre-forward, who can also play out wide on either flank, is a raw talent, possessing good pace and a decent shot, but a slightly less refined touch and technique. He has scored 22 goals in 64 games for the Texan outfit, as well as bagging 7 goals from 28 caps for Honduras. LA Galaxy, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Obviously, it has to be Zlatan Ibrahimovic for LA Galaxy. The 37-year-old Swede, who has repeatedly proved his doubters wrong, has found life pretty comfortable in California, scoring 22 goals in 27 games. He has made the MLS Best 11 in his first season in the division, but it looks like it could be his last as well, with some suggesting that he is set to sign a short-term deal with AC Milan. Los Angeles FC, Carlos Vela. The third place side in the Western Conference for 2018, LAFC, have some good players, but Carlos Vela is undoubtedly the pick of the bunch. The club's only 2018 MLS Best 11 inclusion, and rightly so, followers of the Premier League will recall that the Mexican began his career under Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. The signs were there that Vela was a classy player, but he never quite broke through at the Emirates. He established himself in La Liga with Real Sociedad between 2012 and 2018, before becoming LAFC's marquee signing. The Mexican international has proved a wise recruit, bagging 15 goals in 32 games largely from the right flank. Minnesota United, Darwin Quintero. You could make a case for Minnesota United's 3 or 4 best players all being South Americans, and certainly we think it's difficult to argue with Darwin Quintero being the club's star man. The experienced former Club America and Colombian international forward tends to play as either a second striker or attacking midfielder, always looking to make late runs into the box and get his name on the scoresheet. He has done just that 11 times in 27 games for the Loons to date. Portland Timbers, Diego Valeri. A player whose praises I have sung in the past, although for the life of me I can't remember which video that was in, I'm sure one of you can recall better than me, Diego Valeri is our kind of footballer. Clever, creative, and neat in possession, he may be 32 now, but he still gets the nod for us over fellow Argentine Sebastian Blanco and Lucas Milano for the Timbers. Real Salt Lake, Damir Krajlac. Uncapped Croatian midfielder Damir Krajlac joined Real Salt Lake from German second-tier outfit Union Berlin in February 2018, but we think he's quickly become their best player. A tireless runner who can deputise in a number of positions, Krajlac is predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, but he managed an impressive 10 goals from 27 games in his debut MLS season. San Jose Earthquakes, Guram Kashia. The worst team in the MLS right now, San Jose Earthquakes won just 4 MLS games in 2018, leaving them stranded at the foot of the Western Conference, 10 points behind Colorado Rapids. Former star man Chris Vondelovsky's goals tailed off in 2018, although he was still arguably their MVP, and Swedish international Magnus Eriksson failed to perform as many had hoped. Our choice as San Jose's best player though would have to be Guram Kashia. The Georgian international was trying to steer a sinking ship at centre-back for the Earthquakes, but without him, they really would have been all at sea. Seattle Sounders, Raul Ruidiaz. A really prolific scorer in Mexico over the last few years, Raul Ruidiaz has replicated that form since arriving in the MLS. The Peruvian international is quick, industrious, skillful, and clinical, and 10 goals in 14 games is enough to ensure that we pick him over Nicolas Ladero. Sporting Kansas City, Andreu Fontas. The penultimate inclusion in this list, Sporting Kansas City topped the Western Conference this season. We have to mention US internationals Matt Besler and Graham Zusi, but the man we give the title to as the club's most talented player is Andreu Fontas. A centre-back with 16 appearances for Barcelona to his name, Fontas joined Sporting Kansas City from Celta Vigo. Physically strong and clean in the tackle, Fontas' Barca education shows in his neat passing of the ball. Vancouver Whitecaps, Alphonso Davies. He may be on his way out, but since he is still contracted to the club right now, there can be few doubts that Alphonso Davies is Vancouver Whitecaps' best player. For those of you who watch absolutely no MLS football, this lad is a special talent. There have been youngsters who have starred in the division and flopped in Europe in the past, but something tells us that with the right footballing education at least, that won't be the case with Davies. An MLS All-Star for 2018, he only just turned 18, and he will join Bayern Munich on a 4-year deal in January. Really quick and direct, Davies can beat players at will, and the left winger is certainly one to watch. So that's it for our Not Actually a 7. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC Sevens. You can also follow us on Twitter at HITC Sevens.